Hi, my name is Tonga, and today I'm going to explain how to approach reading chord symbols, starting with triads, then moving on to seventh chords and slash chords. A number of these symbols I'll be going over are generally associated with jazz, but they end up being very useful when reading other contemporary music as well. Let's start off with triads. This is a chord symbol for a major triad. You need to have a root, major third, and perfect fifth in your chord. You do have some flexibility in how you order the notes, but the root must be on the bottom. If you happen to play with a bassist that is covering the root, you can mess with the inversions all you want. I want to point out that most chord symbols allow you to interpret the inversion you want to use to an extent, just as long as you have the root squarely set on the bottom. Here are some ways that I might voice this chord. This is a chord symbol for a minor triad. Notice that we have a minus sign or dash following the letter name. That's the symbol we'll associate with a minor quality, and you'll see it again later in this video, so don't forget it. For this chord, you'll need a root, a minor third, and perfect fifth. Again, the root must be on the bottom of your voicing, just like the major triad. Here are some ways that I might voice this chord. This is a chord symbol for a diminished triad. Along with the letter, we have this small circle symbol indicating it is diminished. You need to have a root, minor third, and diminished fifth. Here are a few ways I might voice this chord. Next, we have a chord symbol for an augmented triad. Notice the plus sign following the letter. That's the symbol that indicates it's augmented. You'll need a root, major third, and an augmented fifth. Here are some of the ways I might voice this chord. Let's move on to seventh chords now. Seventh chords are formed by adding a seventh to our triads. That extra note opens the door to more complex harmony that is widely used in jazz and other modern music. Here are examples of the different types of seventh chords that you'll see. An easy way to read them is to break it down into two parts. The letter, which indicates the root of your chord, and the rest that tells you what quality it is. There are 4 different seventh qualities that you'll run into. The major, minor, and dominant being the most common, followed by an occasional melodic minor. Let's focus on the major seventh. Notice that the chord symbol has a triangle in between the letter and the 7. The triangle indicates that it's major. You'll need to have the root, major third, perfect fifth, and major seventh in your chord. You could also drop the fifth if you want, which would leave you with just the root, third, and seventh, which we call a shell voicing. Just like the triad, we'll need to have the root on the bottom of the voicing, while the rest of the notes can be stacked in any order above it. For the minor seventh, notice we have the minus sign sitting in between the letter and the 7. For this one, you'll need to play the root, minor third, perfect fifth, and minor seventh in your chord. Again, you can omit the 5th, which will leave you with just a shell voicing. Just remember to have the root on the bottom. Here are some ways that I might voice this chord. Now for the dominant seventh, notice that there's no symbol in between the letter and the number. That is a surefire way of knowing that the chord is dominant. For this one, you'll need to play the root, major third, perfect fifth, and minor seventh. Take out the 5th and you'll be left with the shell voicing. Here are some of the ways I might voice this chord. For the melodic minor, we have a mixed symbol of a minus sign and a triangle in between the letter and 7. You'll need to play a root, minor third, perfect fifth, and major seventh. Leave out the 5th and you'll be left with a shell voicing. Here are some examples of what I might play for this chord. At times, you'll run into chord symbols that replace the 7 with a 9, 11, or 13. We call these extended 7th chords. These types of chords extend their reach beyond the 7th. Some examples look like this. When you have a chord that has an extension or color tone, in place of where the 7 would usually be, what you would do is play all the chord tones of the 7th chord and then add the extension as written. So for the C major 9 chord, you would play the major 7th chord tones, root, major third, perfect fifth, major 7th, and then add the 9th for you to fulfill what the symbol is asking for you to play. Here are some of the ways I might voice this chord. In similar fashion, for the C minor 11, you would have to have the minor 7th chord tones, root, minor third, perfect fifth, minor 7th, and the 11th in the chord. Here are some of the ways I might voice this chord. Now for the C13, we'll need our dominant chord tones, root, major third, perfect fifth, minor 7th, and a 13th to be present in the chord. Here are some of the ways how I might voice this chord. Another type of extended 7th chord you'll run into will look something like this. In order to interpret this one, we break it down into 3 different parts. The first part is the root, the second is the quality, and the third part is our modifier. The modifier is an additional unique interval we add to our 7th chord that expands its color even further. Modifiers are intervals that are accompanied by a flat or sharp accidental. For example, a flat 9, sharp 11, flat 5, sharp 5, and flat 13. By adding these unique color tones, we are able to expand our major, minor, and dominant chord possibilities even further. So in the case of this symbol, we would interpret that as a C major 7th with a sharp 11th. That means we'll need our major 7th chord tones, root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, major 7th, and then we add a sharp 11th. Here are some of the ways I might voice this chord. Let's do another one like this. We would interpret this one as a minor 7th chord, but this time we are flatting the 5th. So we end up with the root, minor 3rd, diminished 5th, and minor 7th. Here are some of the ways I might voice this chord. Here's one more example. Check this chord out. We would interpret this one as a dominant 7th chord that extends to the 13th and also has a flat 9. So we'll need a root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, minor 7th, a 13th, and a flat 9. Here are some of the ways I might arrange this chord. Now let's take a look at slash chords. Slash chords like this might look a little confusing, but they're actually one of the easiest symbols you could read. All you really have to do is remember this. Whatever is to the left of the slash, you would play the way you normally would, and whatever letter is on the right side of the slash is your actual bass note. Seriously, that's it. So in this example, what we do is play a C major triad and make sure we have a G as our bass note. Here are some of the ways I might arrange this chord. Let's do one that looks a little bit more intimidating, like this one. So here we'll play all the notes in the B flat major 7 chord, root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, major 7th, and then add the C on the bottom for our bass note. Here are some of the ways I might arrange this chord. You can mess with the order of the notes above the root in any way you want, only as long as you have all the correct notes that are in the chord symbol on the left side of the slash, and you have the bass note that's specified on the right side of the slash. That's all it takes to fulfill what this type of chord symbol is asking you to do. That covers a good chunk of what you'll see in a lot of chord charts. Try your hand at playing these chords in different keys or reading a new tune with this knowledge now in hand. Let me know in the comments how it goes. Practice well and be good.